Jai Bholenath. Jai Aghor Shambhu. Greetings, namaste, and a warm welcome to the fourth podcast on our channel, Night Shadow. I hope you all are doing well with the blessings of the Almighty, the love and care of your dear ones, and support of your best friends and buddies. Before we begin, I want to say sorry. Sorry to you all, as I did not air any episode on the last 2 Fridays. I had some personal emergencies. For all those who have joined in for the first time, Namaste and welcome aboard. I am your host, Avdhoot. I am in my 40s. I live in Mumbai. Our podcast, Night Shadow, is dedicated towards the occult, tantric and mystic arts of India. I have spent more than 25 years studying, working and living with tantrics, Aghors, Naga sadhus and Aghoris in India. My journey for search for my Guruji still continues. The knowledge I gained from handful of genuine gurus I met in this journey is what I am sharing with you all through this channel. There is a lot of false information spread across the West with regards to the Tantra and the occult arts of India. Unfortunately, there are too many fake gurus and cheats that have been taking people for a ride. My aim is to help others understand the mysteries of Tantra, give you insights so that you don't end up being fleeced by these cheats and fake gurus, and do my bit to clear the name of Tantra. Last episode, we talked about the relationship between the soul and the human body, about the aura, how emotions play an important role in the paranormal world. Today, we will be talking more about soul, life and death. Let's start today's session. On the 26th of March 2023, a girl committed suicide in a hotel room in Varanasi. Now, this girl was just 25 years old. She was a successful actress with a huge fan following. She was working in the regional language film industry. She has zillions of fans. She was unmarried. She was successful and she was blessed with an adoring family and parents. What drove her to such an agonizing end? A question that will haunt her mother forever. No one can truly know the emotional trauma that she was facing. We'll never know the reason why she chose death as an easier way out. May Mahadev bless her soul with peace and moksha. This is not the way to go, not for her, and I pray not for anyone across the globe. We all are too engrossed with the materialistic world that we tend to give a blind eye to see if someone genuinely needs just 2 minutes of your time, someone to talk to. Just being a good listener may help you save someone's life. Start giving the people around you your time, not your screen time. Suicide is not encouraged in any faith or belief across the world. Is a person who departs the world in such a way cursed? I completely disagree. Everyone deserves moksha. If it is in somebody's destiny to leave this world by the way of suicide, he will mostly not turn into a ghost. As discussed in the last episode, once a human dies, the soul departs the body. For the living world, as soon as the person breathes his last, he is declared dead. For the one departed, death is not as simple. It takes 13 days for a soul to disconnect from the body and to the physical world altogether. There is a Vedic reason why rituals for a deceased person is done till the 13th day in Hindus. A soul who does not depart the world stays back as a spirit or ghost. Hindus cremate the deceased. The body is made up of 5 elements: earth, fire, water, air, and space. The 13-day process is connected to return of these elements to their form. The soul is the element of space. For those who have died before their time, a premature death, akal mrityu, such people usually reside or stay near the place where their death has occurred. Road accidents are common across the highways around the globe. You may have heard about certain state roads or spots which are accident prone. Wherever an unnatural death or a premature death happens, there is some shift in the natural energy of the surrounding area. It becomes dark, it becomes negatively charged. As the number of deaths keep rising, there is a shift in the energy, and this place becomes too negative. It becomes a haunted spot, a haunted hotspot. There are very high chances of ghost sightings at such places. Any place where a large number of people have passed away, either at one point of time or gradually over a period of time, becomes a hotspot for ghost sightings and visits. The shift in the energy of that place comes from the energy resonated by these beings, these ghosts. This is one of the ways how haunted places come to existence. The strongest ghost or the first one to pass away is usually the one who commands that place. Also, with each succeeding death, the strength of that particular entity keeps increasing. Time also plays a very important factor in the strength and nature of a particular entity. A day-old entity is no match for a 1,000-year-old entity. Every spirit is highly territorial. No one appreciates their space being invaded or being encroached upon. We humans are very possessive by nature. Same traits move on to the afterlife in the world of the dead. The dead have nothing. So any space they occupy, they fiercely guard it. I had come across a case in Mumbai around 13 years ago. I was asked by one of my friends to come and see a girl and advise if she was possessed or needed medical attention. Now, I can deduce that fact whether it is an actual possession or a medical trauma. How do I do it? Well, that's a secret that we will talk about some other day. Coming back to this incident happened in Dharavi, the most iconic slum, aka unorganized industrial area of Mumbai city. The girl was around 7 years old. She was living with a mother in one of the slum houses. They had just shifted to this place a month back, and her daughter gradually fell ill. Her mother worked as a maid servant. They were living on rent in this house. The day I had visited, the girl's father wasn't there, nor did I make any inquiry about his whereabouts or whether he was alive or dead. As a rule, when I am working with a female case of any age, I insist on their family members to be present, especially another adult female. In this small room, there were 4 of us. Me, my friend who had invited me over there, the girl's mother, and that kid. We barely managed to sit in that small room. It was noontime. The girl was in deep sleep. She used to twitch and turns at times while sleeping. She was murmuring, blabbering in her sleep. She had no fever. They had seen the doctor, and the doctor informed that she was very anemic and needed further psychiatric evaluation. Since the mother could not afford medical expenses, they asked me to look into it before they could pick a loan for the girl's treatment. I initiated the process taught to me by one of the gurus. The jap, the chant I did was a Manas chant. There is no sound or whispers in this job. It is all done in the mind. Shortly the girl woke up and she sat upright. She was staring at me. Her gaze was filled with a lot of anger and hate. I continued my Manas chant. The girl started yelling at me. This child was yelling at me in a dialect that I could not understand, nor could her mother understand. The girl child was born to a Muslim family. Hindi was a language of communication. She was yet schooling in an Urdu school. And now the 7-year-old started to speak a different language altogether. None of us could understand. One thing was sure, her body language, her eyes, her expression and her voice tone were very clear that she was very furious why I was there. The friend who had taken me to that place said he was doubting that the girl was speaking in a Tamil language. I asked him to get someone who could help us understand what the girl was saying. Fortunately, we got an old neighbor who was conversant with this language. She verified that the girl was actually speaking Tamil language. The child was indeed possessed. It was a female spirit. This spirit was the daughter-in-law of the landlord of that house. The mother-in-law had tormented and burned her daughter-in-law in this very house. The daughter-in-law died, and the owner, the mother-in-law, got away with the crime. The mother-in-law then relocated from Dharavi to another place. The house had come up for rent almost after 3 years from the day of that girl's death. She wanted revenge and wanted to kill her mother-in-law. The story of young bride's death was confirmed by the old neighbor. We did manage to calm the spirit and bring the kid to her senses again. This case was finally solved and the possession of the child ended very soon. I did not perform the exorcism. It was done by someone else the very next day. I don't know what happened after that. The only thing that I advised to that family was to relocate as soon as they can. In the above case, I would and I will side with the female entity till the time she would have found peace and the will to move ahead. What happened with her was cruel and not justified. Now you may ask the question, was the possession real? Let's look at the key points here. Firstly, the job that I did was a Manas job, which was in the mind. The recitation, the mantra, I was reciting it in my mind. So, no second person can hear it. But the mantra creates a resonance which hits the entity. The foreign language command of a 7-year-old girl who has never been schooled or learned that language anywhere. The verification of the story from a third person who knew the language. The calming of the girl when she started to speak to that old lady. The kid and the old lady had never met before this incident. I'll leave it up to you to believe or not to believe. It's your call. All these years, I've come across many cases. Most possessions are very simple to deal with. A lot of issues have been resolved just by reasoning and sorting the situation. Very rare cases need the use of Tantra to the extreme. I'll take your leave for the day. We will continue with more on ghosts and spirits in the next podcast. We catch up very soon. Take care. God bless you. Enjoy the journey called life and have fun while doing it. Live and let live. This is Avdhoot at Night Shadow signing off. Jai Bholenath. Jai Aghor Shambhu.